Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. Happy Monday, and welcome to another 5 Minute Monday Mindset. And how many, and I'm sure everyone has, but most of us have heard the old childhood nursery rhyme sticks and stones can break your bones, but words cannot harm you. And though it sounds good and catchy, and we all grew up hearing that, it's just absolutely not true. I was thinking about it when I was planning this morning, and so I Googled how many negative words or how many positive words does it take to cancel a negative? And I've heard lots of different ones, but two different ones. One said five, it takes five positives to cancel out a negative comment. Another said seven. I've heard even way more than that. But the fact is, most of us, if not all of us, can probably remember something that was negatively said years ago, way back when we were a child. Maybe it was something said in school. Maybe it was a comment that a friend said on the playground. But definitely the impact that adults have on kids. Yeah, we remember things that kids said, but often it was that thing that maybe your mom or your dad said in anger, or maybe it was a teacher. I'm continuing this book, and it is, here's a cover, Who Switched Off My Brain by Dr. Caroline Leaf. And she researches how the brain works. And it makes so much sense why we do the things that we do. And she gives the example of, for example, a child. Now, this is an adult, but as a child, it says, if you had a math teacher that shouted at you or embarrassed you in class, said that you would never be able to do math, that might have been 30, 40, 50 years ago. But she said every time, even into your adulthood, every time you go to do math, your brain subconsciously goes back to that event, remembers the pain and the embarrassment that you felt, and then starts releasing the the roadblock that you can't do math. Unfortunately, not only that, but it also releases negative, toxic feelings. And of course, we've talked continually about how those feelings turn into emotions and they affect the body. And so it's interesting because she said those negative feelings inside the brain literally put up a roadblock. So from then on, if anything has to do with math, right away you're going, oh, I'm not good at math. And so you keep that story going in your mind. And because you're saying it, then you can't do math. Your brain immediately, and I find myself doing this at times. I've said, and I've said it even on here, I'm not good at tech. So every time I say that, I'm pulling, think of a hurdle on a track. I'm pulling a new hurdle and I'm putting it on the track. And then I wonder why I can't get around because I'm constantly jumping over these hurdles that I have put. And the fact is, maybe I'm good at tech, but every time I say it, I'm giving myself more evidence that I'm not. So it got me thinking, what else? What are other things that we say? Oh, I've always been this way. I've always been this way. My mom is, my aunts are. I'll never lose this. We've always been poor. My parents were, my grandparents were. We just won't ever have money. We'll always be living at the poverty level or just above. I've always struggled with speaking because it's just the way it is. I've never been good. I wasn't good when I was a kid. I couldn't stand up in front of people. So again, the more we do those things, the more we say, we're putting more roadblocks. We're putting more hurdles on the track. And then, of course, it blocks us from moving forward. So think about the things in your life. It's time to start pulling those things off the track. It's time to start telling yourself, yes, I can. Now, if suddenly I said, I am fantastic in tech, well, that's not quite true. But I can say, I can learn. This is something new for me. Yes, it could be challenging, but I'm smart enough to figure it out because I've figured other things out. I've come a long ways. A couple years ago, or before I started my business, I didn't know any of this, but I have figured things out. I've stumbled, but I've gotten up and I've figured things out. Do you see the difference of how I'm terrible at this to I'm working my way through this? And I'm finding that, hey, I can actually like this. So today, this week, as you go through, pay attention to those things that you typically repeatedly say, I'm not, and reverse that with I can, I will, I'm working on. Because we can reframe our future when we realize we are not stuck. And I'm sure there's a lot of you, and myself included. Please don't ever think I'm up here as the expert. I'm just sharing because I've got my own areas. They may look different than yours, but we all do. But as you're going through, think about those things, those areas that you tend to feel stuck, and begin asking yourself, does this go back to that comment way back here? Or does this go back to that time that I was totally embarrassed? And so from then on, I said, I will never put myself in that, situation again. And that's what often happens, even in our adulthood. Maybe we stood up to share or give a speech, or someone asked us to stand up and pray, or to do something, and we stumbled over ourselves and we got embarrassed, and we swore we'd never do that again. So guess what? Your brain is there to protect you. And so it says, oh, don't do that again, don't do that again. And it reminds you of that past failure. But what about if you said, wait a minute, that was then, this is now, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to give it another try. This is the year we're going to reverse our finances. This is the year I'm going to get my house clean. This is the year I'm going to turn my health around. This is the year I'm going to invest in myself because I know I'm worth it. Let's reverse those things. So anyway, enough of that. I hope that you will consider this. And again, as you catch yourself talking to yourself negatively, turn that around. Also, think about the words that you tell other people. Because again, those are the words that really stick with your children, your grandchildren, the people in your life, the young people who are struggling, trying to find their way. And they're hoping that someone believes in them. Let's turn those things around. We live in such a negative world, and we need a lot more positive people that are, fueling and giving life to those around. So, again, go into your day, positive words, even when you don't feel like it. It isn't going to be an overnight thing. Okay, it's going to take some time to reverse years of that negativity. It's taken time for me to stop saying, you're this or you're that. Let's reframe the future. Again, need help? Please reach out to me. Tomorrow, my Simple Healthy Habits in 4 Weeks program gets underway. I know a lot of you have been thinking, oh, I've tried so many things. This is different. Give this a shot. Tomorrow, the first part, the first day, we're going to be talking about some of the things, but some other things too, but ways to get these negative thoughts out of your head so that you can move back. It's not going to be taking all the hurdles off at once, but it's going to be slowly pulling those hurdles off so that you can make a new way. You can get down that track to success. So anyway, again, if there's someone that you know that maybe you want to do this with a friend, invite them as well. So anyway, have an amazing day. Catch me this week as I'll be bringing more great information. Ladies, if you aren't in my Healthy Living Made Easy, go over and join. This week we've been talking about superfoods, and we've had lots of great conversation. Last week we talked about several, and people were like, I've never tried that. I'm going to have to try that. And so get over there as well. If you aren't sure of that, the link, please reach out to me and I will probably pop one in. But anyway, have an amazing week. Take care. God bless. And share some positivity with those around you.